Fleedle, fleedle-dee-dee-dee-dee-doo. That's the way the song goes, right? What's up, everybody? Welcome back welcome to. First time here? You probably tuned out after my little song. That's okay. If you didn't, why don't you subscribe? We're going to do a full spoiler review on House of the Dragon, Episode 6, a.k.a. Shit Goes Down. So, for those people who are saying, oh, man, this guy's an avid book reader, you're a fucking moron if you think that's the case, because I am not. I am maybe not a good way to introduce you for the first, but now I did. I didn't. I'm a casual viewer, like a lot of you peeps. So I'm going into. I basically just take images and I go. I don't necessarily go in order from what we saw on the episode. It's things that stood out, and a lot of stuff stood out, man, in this episode. So the first thing that everybody was talking about, obviously, was the recasting of both Rhaenyra and Alicent. And instead of the two actresses we had in the beforehand, it was Emily Carey, who was young Alicent, and then obviously Millie Alcock as Princess Rhaenyra. They were replaced by Emma Darcy, who is now playing the older version of Rhaenyra, and then Olivia Cooke, who's now playing Alicent. Now, right away, you're like, well, you got a lot to compare to, man. How are you going to do this? And they did it so well, that opening tracking shot that they do, and the opening shot of, like, it was a great way for Emma Darcy to be introduced into this with going, holy shit, did she earn that spot? Like, she's given birth. We don't know. It's 10 years later. We don't know what the hell's going on. We just know, well, obviously that's Rhaenyra, and she's just, not only does she have a birth, kid's healthy, everything's good. It's like, yeah, the queen wants to see the kid now. And she's like, well, I'm not fucking sitting here and doing nothing. I'll walk my ass over there. And it shows you the strength she's got. And some people are like, well, she doesn't have that same kind of childlike spirit that she had 10 years ago. Yeah, it's 10 years later and shit's going down. I know a lot of people have been beaten down by life in 5 years, much less 10. So I bought it. And I didn't know. I wasn't very familiar with Emma Darcy. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like her as much as Millie Alcock. I love what she did in this. Love. I again, not familiar with their work. So I thought what they did in this episode was phenomenal. Because I thought Rhaenyra, I understood a lot what the character was going through and understanding where Rhaenyra, where she was. And man, the idea of this friendship now just gone, and the idea of why, and we understand why the queen wants to see the kid is because that kid is not her husband's. Those are bastards she's pumping out left and right. Now, initially, I thought, with the way that she was alluding to it, I was like, oh, is Daemon going in there? And is this, are these all Daemon's kids? And none of them had Targaryen hair. So I'm like, oh, maybe not. And it turns out, what we find out is that it's this Sir Harwin Strong. You see, I was confused at first, because then as I go back and you watch the flashback, Larys is talking to him. He's the one that says to him, hey, when they have that banner up, what that means, the call to war and all that. We'll talk about Larys in a little bit. Sir Larys, what a scumbag this prick is. Holy shit, man. This is Littlefinger times 1,000. I mean, he is a douche on the loose. But he's doing it right. He's doing it right. I'll tell you that. In as far as what he's doing, I don't approve of his methods. How about this creepy kid? This kid, he kind of looks like our boy from Stranger Things a little bit, doesn't he? But he's got the blonde hair, and he's just a real disgusting filth, is what he is. People are like, oh, is he going to be like Joffrey? Yeah, if Joffrey was jerking off on people's heads outside of a window. I mean, this kid's just tossing off on pigeons. The fuck does he care? He's the king. I got a dragon. I'll have a dragon blow load in your head, but why don't I do it first? Standing on windowsills trying to hit rats with his loads. Fucking creep. But he's the next in line. He's the king. But there he is. in all of his glory, shooting loads from the sky. And you got him, and then you see what he's doing, and he's just a prick. He's a prick to his brother, which we'll find a little bit. We'll get into this scene in a little bit. No, this fucking guy. But, yeah, man, Emma Darcy, really, really great stuff she's doing. We'll get into all this stuff in a minute. Like I said, I'm just going through this. This is the scene here, though. This is the only problem. One of the major problems I had of the show, and it's a major problem, but I guess I can get over it, because they recast three of the actresses, right? You get I guess the one that you had to recast, which I understand, is recasting the 12-year-old. I get that. It's very hard for a 12-year-old to play 22 or whatever. She was even younger than that. I think 12, 13, whatever she was. That's harder to do. I understand with Daemon's wife. Yeah, I get it. That's the one casting that you say definitely. Do I think Millie Alcock could have played a little older if they aged up? I do, but I understand why they recast. I get it, and I also understand the recast of Olivia Cooke. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna recast, you gotta either. And I love Sir Criston. I love the guy that's playing him. Love him. But you got to do one of two things. You either got to recast him or give him a fuller beard to make him look older, because he looks exactly the same. He doesn't look 10 years older. He does not look 10 years older here. He's the only one, I thought. Thought he was great, as he's been in the previous 5 episodes. I think he's great, and he is bitter as shit. Because he's now loyal to Alicent, obviously. After we saw the stuff, I mean, he is just. I mean, you talk about bitter. I mean, this guy, and what he even does, she knows that it's you know, not it's the bastards. What the fuck's the guy's name? Sir Harwin. It's Sir Harwin's kids. She knows it, and she tells Sir Criston, "Come on, let's not bullshit here. Come on, don't bullshit me." And Sir Criston's like, all right, I'll figure it out. I'm an asshole these days, so I'll call it out, and I'm going to be such a jerk off to the other kids. I'll protect your kids, because that's what I'm doing. I protect you now, and we've seen that from him. He's loyal. He's loyal when he's on that side, and I thought that was consistent with the character. Plus, he's pissed off, jaded, so he wasn't even looking to. Because some people were like, well, why isn't he fighting back? He wasn't there to fight back. They said it in the after thing, too. And when I was watching, I was like, yeah, he's not there to fight back. He's here to expose. And that's exactly what he did. And Sir Harwin showed his hand, man. Showed his proud papa trying to show his... Because it's like, look, I never in a million years thought I'd be a soccer dad. My kid's playing soccer these days. And I'm like, I'm just sitting down watching. And I found myself going, that kid's shoving. That kid's shoving. I was like, what the hell did I just say? Shoving. I'm learning soccer jargon and shit I never thought I would. I can only imagine if my daughter was sword fighting somebody in front of me, and I couldn't say she was my daughter. So he's flipping out. And then Sir Criston is like, yeah, man, I'm going to get you to expose that you've been banging Rhaenyra. And that's what he did. It was so all the politics below it were... It's crazy. And then this poor bastard, the Hand of the King, who I love, got done dirty all the way around. This guy's just trying to do his job, and his kid's banging the queen, and then he's got another creepy kid who's trying to do everything. At least he's not jerking off in a window, but still, the guy's still the worst. His other son is the worst guy on the show so far, and I mean that in the best way possible. As far as a scumbag goes, Sir Larys. So he's produced both these guys, and he's got a good kid and a bad kid. The good kid can't keep his dick in his pants. He's got 17 kids. And then you got Larys, who wants to kill everybody. So this guy doesn't know what to do. And he tells the king, he's like, listen, I'm out. The king's like, fuck that. He ain't going anywhere. And I loved the loyalty to it, where the queen's sitting by. She's like, all right, yeah, tell him. Tell him why. Tell him why you got to leave. I can't. And his loyalty to his children, his loyalty in general, and the king's like, all right, come on, tell me, and I'll let you go. He's like, you can't do that. I don't want to. He knows the repercussions that'll come from it. That's what I loved about this episode. There was so much detail to all of it, and as I said, it was a great way to introduce both Olivia Darcy and Emily Darcy and Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook. Great way to introduce both of them right off the bat, because as I said, you put them in this situation, you show us where they are, you have the relationship that she now that Rhaenyra has with her husband, and you move and you show that the turmoil that is now between these former friends, which I thought was done really well, and showing like kind of what Alicent knows, and it goes back to that conversation that she had with her husband. Rhaenyra had it with her husband. About, look, here's our deal. Our deal is I'm gonna go ahead and marry you. We'll produce some heirs, and you know, you can bang your buddy. I'll bang my guards. You do whatever you want to do. But they didn't stick to the deal all the way, because she's popping out kids with the other one, and that's where it's all going down. But I love that moment with them where he's like, look, I want to go back. I want to fight, because we know he's a fighter. He's Targaryen. He wants to fight. And she's like, you know, as your queen, you're not going anywhere right now. You're staying with me. And he's like, this is bullshit. But they have a great moment at the end when she does, and Alicent calls Rhaenyra out on it to the king. He's looking good, by the way, huh? Nice and healthy. So he's ready to crap. He looks like one of the zombies in What If. Walking Dead, if you will. Anyway, poor bastard. But if you look at that whole moment where Rhaenyra presents this moment, this idea, like, look, I'll marry my son off to your daughter, and let's just call it a day. And Alicent ain't having it. And she's like, yeah, she's desperate. She was desperate, for sure. And even at that point, Rhaenyra even realized it. She's like, fuck this, let's get out of here. Let's go to Dragonstone. Let's leave. And then they take off, but then you get creepy McGillicuddy over there, who's then saying, okay, look, Alicent, here's the deal. Let's figure out how to do this. And the king looks good there. That's an old episode. Oh, we'll get to these two in a second. Yeah, this battle scene was something else. But the back and forth between the two of them, and then I liked this guy, by the way. He cut a raw deal, protecting his kids, and then eats it. Dragons, man, some of the dragon CGI wasn't great in this one. This kid trying to get himself an egg, but while he was trying to get that egg, that's when Rhaenyra uses his look. Your other kid, he's having a rough time with the eggs. We'll give him an egg. We'll get I guess it's her daughter, right? So whatever it was. So let's marry him off. Let's figure this out. And then she leaves, and they take off. And I love the moment with Rhaenyra when she says to her husband, "Look, take your buddy, take your lover with you. It's fine. We need all the hints that we can get." And it was like an understanding, nice moment between them. And it's just like, it's not this kind of estranged relationship. They understand each other. They get it. What's hilarious about the whole thing is that Alicent is having this really major problem that Rhaenyra's banging the guard. I wish she should be fucking her cousin. This is immoral. She's producing bastards, when in reality she should be pumping out kids with her cousin. Logic's fucked up in this town. So, they go back, and what they find out, and when they have and what Larys does, and he goes to the prisoners who are on their last. This is when it's getting real Game of Thrones. First of all, I was talking about this with Brett beforehand. I was like, nobody's safe anymore. You can't guarantee anybody, because the hand of the king, he gets waxed, and so does his son. And the way they do it, by his other son, very Shakespearean, crazy, Othello, Iago type shit, and they're cutting off tongues so people can't say anything. They don't whack them; they just cut out their tongues, because you can't say anything. I guess they can't write. either. No one thought about that. I don't know. Maybe they can't write. Morons. Who knows? Either way, no tongues. And everybody dies inside of that castle. And the kids' dad's done. Sweet moments too. Feel bad for those kids. But then as we go back, we talk about Daemon. I really like the kind of subdued Daemon that we saw here. Right? He's trying to kind of live his this actress playing. Oh God, I'm going to mess up the character's name, but this was the one where they had to recast her for sure. Because she was 12 or whatever before, and this is who the king was supposed to marry, and then Daemon winds up marrying her. They have a bunch of kids. She wants to go out and fight, man. She wants to be back and she wants to be, you know, in the. She said we're Targaryens, man, and we gotta, or whatever, or we got to be back to. We gotta be fighting. Can't be just subdued like this. And then there's this moment where she's about to have birth, and they have this, and I like the rapport with her and Daemon. Let me get back to that real quick. I want to show that picture if I can ever find it. But there's this picture. There's this. The hell are they? Somewhere. Did I go too far down? I think I went too far. Let me find it. Sorry, everybody. But they have this moment with both her and Daemon. I can't find it anymore. Either way, there's a lot of conversations that they have together throughout this entire thing, and I was like, I really like what they're doing here because he respects her, he cares about her. He's still Daemon, so he's still going to act the way that he acts, and he's a little kind of shines her on sometimes and just sticks by what he wants to do. But he cares, and you can see that he cares. And I think it's kind of the brilliant performance that Matt Smith is doing as Daemon. I said Matt Damon. I guess it's not too far away. But there's this great moment that is reminiscent to that first episode when the king had his wife and she couldn't. They were like, well, we could save the baby. We don't know if it's going to survive. And he says, well, is she going to? And the king. We know what happens in the first episode, but this one, Damon's like, well, is she going to survive? And she, no. And he doesn't make that call. He doesn't say it. She does. She goes, fuck this. She gets up. And this was the most heartbreaking moment of the scene for me. The episode for me. She's screaming Dracarys at the dragon. He's like, what? The dragon's like, I don't want to do that. You can see, she's like screaming at him, do it. And he's like, no. And then finally in his eyes, he's like, all right. She has that great conversation with her daughter, kind of saying like she controls like the most powerful dragon, and he just took her out. She asked him to, but still. And so even there's that moment with, you know, Daemon's with his kids and just kind of walks away. You don't know how that's gonna play. So how is Daemon gonna handle this now? And I don't think he's gonna stay anymore. I think he's got to go. Now he's gonna leave. So I think they did a great job in this, maneuvering the stakes, and the showrunner said this at the end. They said that this is essentially a pilot, a second pilot, and it felt that way because it's getting us into the new stakes 10 years later. I loved the episode. Thought it was great. I wasn't sure how I was gonna. Didn't have I just said let's go in open-minded and see how both actors were gonna do in the role, and I thought they were both great. Both great. And I'm very invested. Loved what the other two did. Loving what these two are doing with the role. So, what'd you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Go ahead and subscribe. Do me that favor. I think that's been on the entire time. That's all right. Hit that button, subscribe, and that's about it, everybody. I'm very excited to hear everybody's thoughts. It is House of the Dragon. It is episode 6. I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the flip side. All right. Peace.